screen. I'm going to share the whole screen so you can see. My screen is pretty big, so it might look a little bit different on your screen. But before I go and talk about the degree, let me introduce the other people from our side. So we have, I can't see anymore because it just got big, but we have Sequoia, who's the program coordinator for all of our finance programs. We have Amanda Menendez, who's our associate director of graduate admissions. And we have Zaina, who is also from our office, dedicated to our own programs in finance um from admissions. And we also have Marina Georgiou, who is coming from Athens University of Economic and Business, who I'm gonna basically ask her to kind of answer your questions because she started at Stevens right this fall. She started with a PhD program, not this dual degree program, but she can give you some information about how the courses are and the school and the culture and everything. So first of all, I have a set of slides that I'm going to go. I try to be very brief, but I'm a professor and professors talk a lot, so I will try to be focused this time. Um, First of all, this is a picture of Stevens. This picture is taken from the other side of Manhattan. These are our newest buildings. They were just finished, I believe, 2 years ago, and they host students. So they're mostly undergraduate students. So and they actually not even my son was able to get into them, but they're kind of like the newest addition to the campus. This is the Stevens 100 and actually right now 155 years ago. This picture was taken. Was I got this Stevens about 5 years ago when we celebrated the 150 years anniversary. This used to be the gate entrance to the Stevens campus. Today is completely renovated. The only piece that remains is this part, the gatehouse, which now hosts the police basically on campus. This is how a portion of the campus looked like from like a top bird's view. It's probably one of the best looking campuses in the world, not only in the United States. Certainly, uh, I mean, it's certainly better than the AUEB campus, and certainly better than my university in Romania campus. But this is how the campus looked like, and our building is right over here. It's just barely see it, but we are in this building. It kind of looks, it has a very futuristic design, but our location is excellent. The reason why I want to show you this picture is because this degree that we have, it's very expensive. So it's very important that the students have the opportunity to work and get good jobs once they graduate. So I wanted to show you this picture because it showcases Manhattan, which is 15 minutes away by bus. So you basically, there's a bus that lives right here. There's a ferry that's right over here. There is a train and a path station, which is a subway that goes directly into Manhattan. So they're all about half an hour distance, 45 minutes from anywhere in Manhattan. Uh, but what else is something else that is not shown in this picture is a lot of financial companies are moving away from Manhattan because it's becoming very expensive and real estate is very expensive here. So they're moving to another center, which is to the right over here, which you can't really see. It's called Jersey City, downtown Jersey City, which is being built like, it's being developed in the last years, and a lot of financial companies are moving over here. In fact, there is a lot of financial companies in Hoboken where we are at. So speaking of these are some numbers from our. There was an article which was talking about colleges with the best return on investment. Stevens regularly appears on this ranking as one of the top, universities in the U.S. Basically, because of our location, our students, are able to advance in their jobs, and because we are very technical, they are able to advance pretty quickly. And these are statistics from last year. Um, we have, I can tell you this year statistics are pretty different. We don't have 100%. I'm not sure. We're still not at the 6 months range, but I I still have one or two students who are looking for jobs. The salary is higher, way higher than this, but still, this year has been a really bad year of, in terms of finding jobs in the United States. Uh, this is a slide where I show the kind of companies that they hire our students. This is for the entire business school, and this is for our FA graduates from last year. So the reason why I want to show you this is basically to show you the difference. You can see here there is ADP, which is a information systems, McGraw-Hill Education, CS Technology, IBM. These are, the entire business school goes into this. There's a lot of technology companies and consulting companies. In our case, we are much more focused on finance sector. These are all banks and, financial sector, investment banks, and so on and so forth. So it's really not that important, the companies, because, every year the companies change, and we do place all sectors of the financial industry. So let me say a few words about the program, motivation, why this particular program. So uh, data science is an area that started relatively recently. This program is called Financial Analytics and Financial Technology and Analytics because we actually started this program before there was any data science. But our topics are exactly the topics that are covered in data science. And I want to point out to this website, so I'm not going to go over everything, but I just want to point out that you guys are, very intelligent students and can form an opinion on your own. So I am just going to showcase this particular website. You can, if you don't remember the site, you can just simply type Hanlon Labs. This is our Hanlon Financial System Center, the same website. So on this website, if you go under resources and courses, these are details for all our courses. And we put a lot of details here. And these details are changed every semester. So every semester we have a number of students in the lab. That's why this is put under the lab website, because we can actually have the capability to manage this website and update it. And every semester we update the syllabus of the class. So this is everything here that you see is up to date. And the reason why we do this is because we really want, well, whenever I create a course, a new course, the first thing that I do is, of course, I have my topics in my mind, but the first thing that I do is I look around and see what other courses are on the topic, and then I create the best course that I can with the help of multiple other websites. And I always find it weird that I can't really find a lot of information when I try to do that. And I really want every other course that's being created in this area to use ours as model, because that's how you become a leader. That's how you get people's stuff to follow. Uh, So this is one website that is really really important, and I advise you to uh, um, to bookmark it. In fact, let me see if there's a chat. I'm not very familiar with WeChat. We use Zoom, but Sequoia, if you can just put this the link in the chat, I would really appreciate it. Again, I don't really see the controls on this thing anymore. In fact, I can't even see anybody, so I don't really see.
I put the
Sequoia,
link in
can you
the
hear me?
Yes, I put the link in the chat.
All right, perfect. So there's another thing that I wanted to show you about this website. So I'm going to talk in a moment about this. But if you click on the research and research projects and then capstone projects, I know it's pretty convoluted. We're trying to come up with a way to make this more streamlined. But research, let me say it again, research projects and capstone projects. These are exactly our projects in our programs in financial engineering and financial analytics. And here are linked the best, projects that we've done in the past, I don't know, 10 years or so. And this is not the entire project, but it's a synopsis of what is done. And you can definitely lose yourself in these projects. There's a lot of projects here, and there are a lot of good ideas that came from our students. And we spend a lot of time, making sure that these are curated and then nicely looking projects. So have a look at these projects and the courses that we have. That I think is the best advertising. There's a lot more stuff here. We have a lot of information about databases and software that we have. So please analyze this website, because we do a lot of stuff over here. And I'm very proud of our colleagues and activity that's happening at Stevens. So now, why particularly this financial analytics? So I just want to point out a couple of things here. This program is very technical and it's very detailed. And that's why I really am proud of this collaboration with, Masters of Statistics at AUEB, because I know the courses and I know the people there, and I know you're going to get a strong education that's going to slide directly into this program. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to, I am certain, well, not based on this year employment, but based on everything up to this year, I'm certain that you're going to get a job. I'm certain that you're going to get a pretty good job, a pretty good career with this program. Now, I'm going to skip this. Like I said, you're going to have a lot of information about these research projects. These are basically selected research projects from, this is the link directly to that page that I showed you. And I want to focus on maybe this one, because this one it's done by me with another one of our professors, Dragoș Bozdog. But what's interesting about this project is that these actually are master students from our program. So this first paper, for instance, in 2017, was done by these two guys. Well, us and these two students. They were. Amin was a master student at the time, and he here was another master student. Amin ended up doing a PhD with us in financial engineering. This project here, Mr. Kong was a student in financial engineering, then ended up being a PhD in finance, in the PhD in finance. Dami, she was a student in, I think, financial analytics as well, and then same thing with this student. At this time, I believe, well, so they were all basically master students. What this project is about is finding liquidity, discovering points in time where liquidity is available on the market. If you know anything about trading, you know that you don't really trade with, a nebulous, people who give you the counterparts. When you buy shares, there's going to be a person that's going to sell you the shares. If you sell shares, there's going to be a person that's going to buy the shares. Now, if you're going to buy a large amount of shares, there needs to be a lot of people behind it, which means liquidity is good. But if there is not a lot of people on the other side who want to sell this, your shares that you buy are going to cost a lot more, because you're going to have to go deep into what is called the limit order book. But I mean, I'm not going to go into all the details. The important thing is that they use machine learning techniques that they learn in our courses to analyze this particular liquidity problem. And I like this is one of our professors who's very good, Dr. Siman, and I really like his cartoons. And just basically he teaches risk management. He teaches risk management first semester for us, and he always like to say that you need to be prepared for when the bad things are coming, because they will always be coming. So next thing that I want to discuss is this craft center. So this is this is something unique at Stevens and unique in the United States. Normally, research grants are not something that is typical for business school for finance area in general, because typically the people who steer research in at least in the United States, they look at the financial industry, which is the largest industry in the United States, and they say, well, you have a lot of money, and you can your research is about making more money. And that actually is not true, but that's the perception, which means that we don't really have a lot of grants in this area. Uh, However, in the recent years, there's been a lot of innovation in this particular area. In fact, I would say the biggest developing, sector of the United States is financial technology, and a lot of the financial technology companies are here in New Jersey. Actually, um, ironically, some of them are in Texas and also in California. But in 2020, I believe, we made a proposal to NSF, which was funded, and we have created here the first center for research in finance area. There's like about 80 such centers in the United States, but there is not a single one except for this one dedicated to finance. So what these centers are, they're basically created to take research from the academia and then create, kind of like pre-VC, pre-venture capital, pre-funding projects. So basically take ideas, transform them into something that's viable for the industry with the help of industry. And actually, let me show you this. So basically, you can read through these links what this is, but we have a lot of companies which are partners of this craft. There's actually more than this, but tomorrow, for example, I'm supposed to go to Vanguard to visit them about one project that is funded by this craft center that they are interested in. So I'm telling you this because this is really interesting. It's really unique, and not only that, but it will allow us, the program, to create some projects which will possibly be part of being funded by this center, and also receiving projects directly from this center. And finally, since I told you I talk a lot, oh my God, I've been talking continuously for the 20 minutes. So lastly, the most important part, which is the logistics of the program. So the way this is designed, we are going to recognize and transfer 9 credits from Athens University in economics and business, so your program. And then basically, once you come here, you're going to complete the program in 2 semesters. This is needed for 2 reasons. First of all, it's a significant discount in terms of tuition, as my colleague from admissions are going to explain to you. But even more importantly, you need 2 semesters of full study in the United States to be present here to be able to work in the financial industry. In order to receive a right to work, you need to complete 2 semesters of study in the United States. And the courses that I'm going to mention in a minute, you need to earn them with a 7 in your scale up to 10. Now, 7, speaking from experience in Romania, it's really achievable grade, because I think you guys have the same system that we had back in Romania. And again, about the dates, Amanda is going to tell you about the dates that we have. This is the grade conversion that we came up with. And these are the exact details of the courses. Now, this can change, but the recommended courses to take to be, working for our program are the ones that are basically marked with yes. And you don't really have to take all of them. You just need to take about 22.5 ECTS credits. Now, you have a choice of, I believe, 2 of these 3 cycles. So regardless of what you choose, you're going to take either cycle 3 or cycle 2. Now, you can take both of them, but with taking this one and either cycle 2 or 3, you will be able to complete the courses that we're gonna transfer. And depending on what you choose, there is a plan that I'm going to mention this last slide. I'm not going to go into details of this one, but you can see that there is description of like people who completed, students who complete cycle 3, people who complete cycle 2, people who complete both cycles. So everything should be, spelled in this presentation, which we can share with you. And then the other thing that I really, really want, it's important to mention is that, of course, we can design and, our professors and our center here for student success work specifically with every student to complete their, to design a plan that is specific for their, application and background and everything. And one last thing I want to mention is this piece. So this is really unique. We have a lot of agreements with other universities from Italy, from Spain, from China, from India, from Japan, from Australia. Anyway, we have a lot of agreements, particularly with this program. And the only agreement that does this is our agreement. In fact, I'll see how this works, and this might be something that we think about for our agreements. So this was something that Dimitrios and Ioannis insisted on, which I think it's a really good idea. So basically, you guys are finishing the university, and then you have a requirement to finish a thesis. Now, this thesis can be finished in a month, or it can be finished in a longer period of time. Now, what's the special thing about this agreement is that you can continue this into a full master thesis for us, and then by doing so, you technically have about a year and a half to complete this thesis. So the way you do this is you're going to take 3 of the credits that are going to count toward the master thesis every semester, so in the fall and in the spring. And what that does, it allows us, both professors from here and professors from AUEB, to collaborate with you on your project. So hopefully, the hope here is that in a year or so after you started, you're going to be able to produce something that can be submitted to a journal for publication. And that's really useful for you, in your future career. So that's really unique, and we'll see how this works. We never, had this before, and we're hoping to start this program in the fall. So it's going to take some time, but hopefully this is something that we can, gonna do well. So these are more details about the program, which courses to be taken, and how much they count. But that's pretty much from my academic perspective. I want to give my colleagues from admissions, a chance to discuss. So I'm going to end my presentation and then go to their presentation, switch to their presentation. Sorry, I have it open, but I believe this is it. Here we go. And Amanda, do you want to take over?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Dr. Florescu, for that informative piece on the financial analytics program. Hello, everyone. Once again, as Dr. Florescu mentioned, my name is Amanda Mendez. I am Associate Director of Graduate Admissions within the Office of Graduate Education. Joining me today, I do have my colleague Zaina Ahmed, who's a Graduate Admissions Advisor, and she will be working very closely with each of you as you decide to pursue this program. Now, we are very excited, of course, about this partnership, and outside of knowing the basics about the program, about what Stevens focuses in on, why Stevens overall, we know that you would like to know more about the application process so that you can consider applying in the upcoming semesters. So I am going to be reviewing the application process. Next slide, please, Dr. Florescu. First and foremost, the most important thing you do need to know are important dates. For those of you who are interested in starting the program in fall of 2024, you should know the semester actually begins on September 3rd. Working backwards, this means that application deadlines are as follows. For fall 2024, the preferred deadline is March 15 for those students interested in this, applying to Stevens under this agreement. If you apply by March 15th, we will be able to generate a decision for you by April 15th. Now, this will give you adequate time to, of course, review the decision, make the decision to come to Stevens, and then, of course, it will allow us time to work with you individually to make sure that you are ready to begin your program at Stevens. Next slide. In terms of application requirements, under this agreement, I'm happy to say that the application fee of $60, which is standard for all applications for any of our graduate programs, is waived. Of course, we will need to receive transcripts from where all college credit has been obtained, so you will have to provide official transcripts of your bachelor's degree. You will have to provide any transcripts that you have thus far of AUEB as well. We will need to receive at least a copy for the application to be reviewed. If you are admitted post-admission, we will need to receive official copies of each, but we will of course work with each of you and/or appoint contacts at AUEB to ensure that we do receive these transcripts in the most seamless manner possible. Okay. 2 letters of recommendation are required to apply to this program. Now, when it comes to letters of recommendation, you will want to keep in mind that faculty that you are working with or any mentors that you may have along your bachelor's studies or even your master's studies are going to be good points of references. So please consider asking a recommendation letter of any of these individuals. If you have any sort of work experience, whether it be internship or even research experience, consider those individuals as references as well for your letters of recommendation. We will need to receive proof of English language proficiency. Now, as Dr. Florescu mentioned, we can accept the TOEFL, IELTS, or the Duolingo. However, we do have minimum requirements. For TOEFL, the minimum requirement as stipulated under the agreement would be a 90. The IELTS would be a 7, and the Duolingo would be 100. So outside of this, I'm also happy to say that the GRE, GMAT exam is waived under this agreement. And this is very important, of course, because we want you to understand that we are applying through this program has a benefit, and these are some of the benefits that you will see. Now, resume and personal statement are very important documents that you should work on and prepare to submit, as they will be the voice of your application. Keep in mind that your resume is where you will want to highlight any work experience, whether it be internships or research experience. In your personal statement, you will want to focus on why Stevens, why you wish to pursue this degree at Stevens, and how is this degree going to help you with your future career goals. Last but not least, as I understand, there will be some component of an interview that's done. It's going to be more of an academic interview, but I'm sure Dr. Florescu might have more information on that if anyone has any questions. Next slide. In terms of starting your application, pretty simple and standard, just like every other university. You will need to create an application account online. I've listed the website where you can start your application right on this slide. Once you access your application account, you will be able to indicate the term that you wish to apply for. Now, let's say your term is fall 2024, you will need to complete the application, each and every section indicating that this is the program that you wish to pursue. Next slide. Along the different sections of the application, there will be one section in particular called financial support. And it is in this section of the application that you will have to indicate that you're applying to Stevens as part of this AUEB partnership. So please keep an eye out on the financial support section and pay close attention to the question that is asking you. Will you be attending Stevens as part of a university affiliate or institutional agreement? Once you select yes to that question, a drop-down will appear and you will need to select AUEB from it in order to properly identify and let us know that you have applied. This will allow the application fee to be waived. This will allow the GRE or GMAT to be waived, and this will allow us as admissions officers to know that now your application has been submitted, and we will begin working with you closely to ensure that it is completed. Next slide. I did want to take the opportunity to, of course, mention that as part of your application submission, you will also be reviewed for funding. I know funding is a very crucial part of the decision of attending graduate school, and I do want you all to know that as applicants of the Master of Science in Financial Technology Analytics, you will be considered for what we call Provost Master Scholarships. These are one-time merit award that is dispersed between 2 semesters. So let's say you are admitted to fall 24. Let's say you receive a scholarship. The scholarship will be divided and dispersed between your fall 2024 semester and your spring 2025 semester. The benefit of this scholarship is that you will not need to complete a separate application whatsoever. By completing the application that I mentioned earlier, you will automatically be reviewed for admission and funding of this sort to Stevens. Now, scholarships will be purely merit-based, as I mentioned, and they will range up to $10,000. So do keep this in mind, but also keep in mind the fact that applying early by that March 15 deadline is going to be crucial so that you are admitted and you are reviewed for any funding per se, okay? Of course, I wanted to add that outside of these Provost Master Scholarships, there are other funding opportunities. There are on-campus jobs that might be more administrative. There are also some assistantship positions that maybe some master students can secure as part of their 3rd or 4th semester at Stevens. But again, that's dependent on department and the school that you're in. So School of Business would certainly, you would be working with them to see what sort of assistantship you could get. But there are various on-campus jobs outside of assistantships where you can do more of administrative work 20 hours a week, get up to $14 an hour, and it certainly does help you with your living expenses, etc. Most of our graduate students, outside of using these scholarships and on-campus jobs as funding opportunities, will also consider private loans. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, of course, once admitted, our Office of Financial Aid will be able to work closely with you to provide you with the historical lender list and provide support to help you find the right loan for you. Next slide. Now, again, I wanted to talk about the application process. I know Dr. Florescu has talked a little bit about what makes Stevens so unique for this program. Additionally, what makes this program so special at Stevens. But of course, I imagine that all of you will have questions and very particular concerns. So I invite you to take the next step, whether it be meeting with myself or my colleague Zaina. If you're interested in learning more about the support services that Stevens has to offer for graduate students or just Stevens overall, I invite you to attend a virtual open house. We have events that are happening every 6 weeks or so, where again, you can hear what the graduate enterprise is like, what the student body is like, what makes Stevens so unique. And last but not least, I do hope that, if you're all set and ready to go, that you will start your application. The sooner the better. As I said, even though the preferred deadline is March 15th, any applications that you would like to submit at this point in time for fall 2024 are welcomed. We actually already have the application open for fall 2024. So if you would like to get started, the earlier the better. And with that, I do believe that concludes my slides, Dr. Florescu. Thank you. And I reiterate that we are very excited to be working with all of you. And I did have my colleague Zaina's email address on this slide, but I will also be sure to add my own personal email address in the chat.
Thank you very much, Amanda.
Thank you. So one last thing before the purpose of this is to answer questions and to discuss and see if anything else is needed. But before I do that, I just want to introduce Marina Georgiou.
Yes, hello everyone. As you already informed, I'm Marina Georgiou. I've started my PhD in financial engineering this fall. and I have completed my bachelor and master studies in the Athens University of Economics and Business. I will be happy to answer your questions if you have any concerns that you want to share. I know it's not only there will not be only concerns about the academic studies, it's a whole transition in the US. So I strongly invite you and encourage you to ask me whatever you want, share your fears. I will be very happy to share my experience so far in Stevens.
Excuse me, hello for me. There.
Yes, Kostas, please.
My name is Kostas Botsi. I am student and master degree and statistics, and I am interested to do the double degree at Stevens. I had also spoke with Mr. Ioannou Florescu last year with Mr. Gregory, and that I want to ask it's the procedure with the visa or the requirements, especially in the grade, because I think our master is finished at May and the deadline is until March 15. How we can do this?
Sure, I believe that question is for admissions. Hi. So essentially, the application, as I mentioned earlier, should be submitted by March. But it's understandable that you will not have completed your semester until May. So what we ask is that you provide transcripts up to the point of March. Whatever you have, whatever grades you have up till March is going to be sufficient for the initial application review process. After you complete your semester, so when May comes, you're going to have a final official transcript. At that point in time, you can submit the official transcript. But for the actual application review process, all we need is a copy of a transcript, and it's okay that your grades will be in progress. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay, yes, it makes sense. Thank you very much.
No problem.
This and with a visa, what is the because I don't know the procedure on what I have to do. I think Maria Georgiou, she knows.
Yes, I can answer that. It's a process that it's going to take a long time, so you have to take the advantage of the time that you will have. But it's not, you're not required to have your visa. Once you get your acceptance letter, then you will provide that to the embassy in Greece, and they will probably, accept your visa application.
Okay, okay.
And if I
you
just
need-
may,
Sorry.
oh no, it's okay. Go ahead, Marina. You're providing the student perspective. I'm sure he's interested in that, and then I'll jump in.
I wanted to say that I completed my master studies in July, this July. So I haven't I didn't have my degree yet. I only had the transcript of my studies completion, and that I have completed all the requirements. And this created no conflict with my visa and my acceptance in the country. I mean, you don't have to worry about all this stuff.
Okay.
And just to add to that, again, as Marina said, indeed, if you are admitted, you're going to receive an admission letter. Then we will ask you to please provide financial documents that will help our International Student and Scholar Services Office give you an I-20. It is with the admission letter and the I-20 that you will then go to the consulate, seek a visa interview appointment, and once the interview appointment comes, you will then go the day of, answer some questions, and of course, it is that day that then you will be told if your visa is accepted or what are the next steps, okay? But we will work with you, if admitted, to make sure that all these steps are happening and that we're providing guidance along the way. The most important thing I will say is to make sure that you are applying by the deadline, because obviously getting a visa could be lengthy at times. Getting a visa interview date in itself is lengthy. So the earlier you start the process, the better.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, if I had the opportunity, the grades and the transcript, I have to do the tomorrow the application to,
Great.
to the students. Yes,
Great.
because I'm just thinking from last year.
Perfect. We look forward to receiving it. And of course, we'll be notified when you start it. So we will be sure to assist you in any way possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I also one question about the funding opportunities, because it's more easy for me for financially. For more information about that, I had one to search in one where I can search for these funding opportunities.
We can send you some information. We'll actually put it in the chat for everyone to see. It's a link that provides additional details about alternative financing options. Zaina, would you be able to add that in the chat? Perfect. So we'll add that shortly, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Great. Are there any more questions for the Stevens group from our students? Okay, silence. Okay, so Yanis, do we want something else? Now it's a big opportunity since all the Stevens group is here.
Ionut, the only thing I want you to underline, what is the requirement in terms of grades? I think you said something like 7.
Yes. So 7, the grade that is transferred from anywhere. So first of all, when the grade is transferred, the expert or somebody who's expert in the program needs to decide if the course is transferable or not. And the condition number 1 is the grade. Even if the academic content is the same, the student needs to receive a grade of 7 or higher for the grade to be transferred.
Okay, so my question is relevant to what Costa said. So if a student has below 7 in the first degree, but in the MSc first semester has grade an improved grade over 7. So what will be the final decision, since the MSc transcripts will be available later?
So okay, so I'm referring to
this is a complicated scenario, but sometimes it happens.
No, it's not. So basically, the 7 refers to only the grade in the course that we're going to be transferring. It does not. It's not the GP. It's not the grade point. It's not the average of the program.
You are referring. The course is transferred.
So I'm just talking about the master courses, and I'm only talking about the one master course. Now,
what about the admissions? Do you have any requirement on the grade, or this is you see this over every case separately?
Sure. So we review every application holistically. It's my understanding that per the agreement, students are supposed to have an undergraduate GPA of a 3.0. So that means we would be looking at the bachelor's degree GPA, not necessarily the AUEB. To Dr. Florescu's point, the 7 will only be necessarily for the transfer of credit. Okay. But as I said, even because we look at applications holistically, everything counts. So we will be looking at the different components, letters of recommendation, resume. If a student is borderline the 3, we usually still are able to review the application because of our decision being made in a holistic approach.
Okay, thank you, Amanda.
Yes, and one thing to mention this is that the typical rules that we have don't really apply to the special agreements that we have. And so the reason, just to tell you like a holistic kind of view of the admissions, basically my role as the academic coordinator of the program basically is to make sure that the students who come in have the necessary prerequisites and the necessary knowledge to finish the program. So sometimes I basically change the rules depending on the students, depending on the country or origin, depending on the undergraduate degree, depending on a number of factors. Now, in the case of a special agreements, I don't have to do any of that because I actually rely on my partners, which is you guys, to make sure that the students are basically well educated and going to finish the program. So it's a much easier decision when it comes, because I really, sometimes the numbers are lying. Sometimes you have a student which really good grades and really good scores, and then comes in and doesn't do any work, and that's a problem. Or you have students who have very low GPA, but they're very hard working. They spend maybe 2 years of working in the industry, realize that they have to really get into gear, and then they come in and do an excellent job. So,
Okay, thank you, Ionut.
Great. Do we have anything else to ask? Please.
Excuse me,
Yes,
one
Kostas.
last thing.
Yes, Kostas.
So the earliest date to apply, it's when I have the first semester from our master, that I have one transcript, the degrees of the lessons that I have. Is the earliest date, I think.
It would be good to see that. However, if you want to start your application from now, that is also fine. You will need to go ahead and indicate AUEB as a school when you're applying. So when you indicate AUEB as a school, the system is automatically going to ask you for some sort of documentation, a transcript. If you can provide a transcript that just states what courses you're in without a grade necessarily, because obviously your semester hasn't finished yet, that is okay. That is sufficient for you to begin this process. So I hope that does answer your question. If you don't have a document that has any sort of information about your current enrollment in AUEB, well, then we'll have to work with you to then accommodate the application this early on.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just to add to this, basically what is needed for the master's degree is typically an undergraduate transcript. So a transcript from your bachelor's degree. So that's what is needed. So which I assume you have because you're in the master's degree. And then the really important part in your case, in the students who are part of the dual agreement, are the recommendation letters. You have a minimum of 2 recommendation letters. You can have more, but you need to have 2. And this recommendation letter should come to from your professors. And then, if the professors attest of your, of course, we're going to take that at face value, is what they say. Because we know, the people at AUEB.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. I think that we don't have anything else to ask. So I would like to thank you again. Thank you very much for this presentation. The video will be up in our website, in our YouTube channel, so the students can go there to find all the details again. Once more, thank you very much, Ionut, Amanda, Zaina, Sequoia, and Marina. We hope that some students will be of interest, and next year there will be some students of our master in your program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.